says its feelings are connected to your learning. Um, Also, Anonymous says that they have been working in her his school on social and emotional learning about 2 years. Um, it's learning through your emotions. Uh, Nidia says he's probably talking about feelings as well. Social and emotional learning is the most important thing in the classroom. Also, how to deal with emotions. Anonymous says, I don't know about the topic, so we have a person who doesn't know about what it is. The student behavior showing their emotions, how to manage emotions. And finally, it is the ability to recognize our emotions and others' emotions.
Okay. Okay, so social emotional learning. Social emotional learning is a process through which children and adults understand and manage emotions, set and achieve goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Okay, so the goal of this process is like uh, we need to take our children, our teenagers, to make the best responsible decisions in their lives. Okay, so that's what is social emotional learning. Okay? So we have five. Okay, um, high cons- competencies of SEL. Okay, so we're going to speak about what are these uh, competencies about SEL. So here we have the core competences. Okay, I would like to start with, as you can see on the power presentation, it's self-awareness. And okay, self-awareness, it's recognize your emotions. It's when the kid, the person, the teenage, the adult recognizes that emotion. Okay, and is how, what do they know about their emotion? Do they understand the emotion? How they feel? What do they think? Okay, that's to when a person recognizes their emotion, their own emotion. Okay, why is this important? Okay, because if we continue with the self-management, okay, is okay, you recognize your emotion, what you think, what you know about yourself, and then you take it to the self-management. What do you do with that? Okay, with that knowledge. Okay, how do I behave with that emotion? Okay. How did it turn to being positive? Okay. So that's the first step, as I was saying, is recognize your emotions. Sorry. Recognize your emotion, and then what do I do with that information to turn it into a positive way? And sometimes, okay, when the kid or the teenage recognizes that emotion, okay, I know I'm angry, but okay, what do I do with that information? How can I change it to a positive action? So what teachers need to do is take our children to make to take advantage of that knowledge, and that's okay. Stop the kid, and then make the kid to think, and then to act. Okay, so that's what is self-management. Okay, once a person knows about the awareness of their emotions, what to do with that information, we'll go with the social awareness. And the social awareness is to empathize with others. Okay, it's to empathize with other people. Now, how do they feel? What makes them angry? Okay, In what situations does my friend, does my relative feel happy or feel sad or feel angry? It's like to recognize the other person and to to be in the shoes of others. So that's what social awareness is. And then we'll go to the relationship skills. Okay. Once again, as self-management is what do I do with the information that I have of others, and that's going to help me to create relationship skills. Uh, what role do I play in that social uh, with my family, with my classmates, with my neighbors? Okay, so that's the importance of the relationship. Okay. Um, and the goal, okay, once we develop these skills of self awareness, self management, social awareness, relationship skills, okay, what we spoke about the first is like, okay, take our children to have better, responsible decisions in their lives. Yeah. And when we speak about responsible decisions, it's okay. Uh, make them think what can they do in what consequences, okay, what consequences can they have if they make one decision, because all decisions have consequences. So what we want them is like to make the most responsible decision so they can achieve their goals, their academic goals and their personal goals. Okay? So these core competences of SEL will help us to identify or to take in a path our students in order to uh, have better society with better decisions. Okay, so that's these core competences. Okay, we'll proceed with the next image. The outcomes. Okay, as we spoke, it's like learning outcomes. Okay, the first one is to understand the concept of social emotional learning, SEL, to analyze the different aspects of SEL, and to reflect on the role we play on the developing skills. Okay. So I hope through here we have a good introduction of um, what are we going to get deep in today, like speaking about the social emotional, and the goal is like, how can I take this methodology to our schools, to our classrooms, to our society. Okay, and us as teachers, we play a very important role. Well, uh, you go to the next step. Okay, I'm stuck with the image. Oh, Abdel, I think I have problems with continuing the image.
Okay, Leo. Meantime, your PowerPoint is going on to the next slide. We had a question from a person. Let me read. She says, if it's possible for you to repeat about relationships, healthy relationships regarding social emotional learning.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, well, go back if you want. Okay, with the relation skills. Okay, is once I identify the social awareness, once I know, I identify how my friends, my family, my okay, the people who I'm spending time with, I identify their emotions. How do they feel? What do they think in different situations? Okay, uh, that okay. With that information, uh, I can is what do I do with that information with the relationship skills? It's okay. I know that, for example, if I put one example, I know that my in the classroom there's a kid who likes to, I don't know, who doesn't like to speak. So if I do a teamwork in the classroom and somebody and the group needs to go to the front and expose a topic, so everybody takes a role, and you can take the leader as the leader, and you can decide, okay, he doesn't like to speak much, so this kid will draw, will write, and it's what role do you play in the society? What role do you play with your family? Okay, uh, and that's what relationship skills. Uh, it's important to identify or what to do. It's like what to do with the information you already have from your friends, from your family. I don't know if it's clear. Or, okay.
Thank you, Leo. And one more
Nice.
question. Meantime, you're fixing your presentation. Another quick question, and then we will continue with the slides. Anonymous says, can you explain a little bit more on social awareness? Can you explain a little bit more
Social.
about social awareness?
Okay. Okay. Social awareness. Okay. Here the object. Well, the goal is to empathize with other people. Yes. Empathize is to know about what. Okay. To identify emotions and thoughts of other people is um, how do I empathize? Be open mind. Okay. Don't judge. Uh, don't judge when you disagree or you agree. You're just accepting the other person. You're empathizing with the other people, and it's information that will help you once again to have a better relation skills. So the goal is to empathize with other people. So right now I still have problems with shoot. The image is stuck.
It is okay, Leo. Maybe you want to continue, and we are trying to fix this technical problem, but just continue with the presentation, and then we will give time at the at some points to answer some questions. Okay?
Okay. Okay. So I mean, we continue speaking about with Casel's framework, identify five core competences. Okay. I would like to proceed with. Okay. You know, well, um, what do I do in my classes? I'm a high school teacher. I teach here in Guadalajara. With high school, I have well kids from 15 to 19 years old, and I mean, I think when they're teenagers, they have big issues with their emotions, and I think us as teachers sometimes we focus more in the learning, the topics, and the academic goals, which is important. I'm not saying it's not important, but I think if we do not uh, also care about students, I mean, you will never know if they're learning, because I think when you adapt the social emotional learning into your classes, you can have a better results. You can have a better uh, environment in your classroom. And I'm speaking this because I have experiences, many experiences with my students, where sometimes one day you have the best uh, student with many I don't know math skills or chemistry skills, and suddenly the next semester you find that your student who was like uh, I don't know, the brilliant student in your class, his grades has they're getting lower and lower, and if you okay, going back to that question, what's wrong with you? If you start like having a good communication with the students, and uh, I don't know what happened to you, what's going on in your life, why are you having lower grades? Uh, I mean, you will see that this student is having big issues, maybe at home or maybe with their classmates. Uh, and I think it's very important for us to go deeper into their emotions. And believe it or not, okay, I still have or I have had students that sometimes their dad is a homeless and the mom is I don't know left house, and they're living with big depressions. So sometimes the support is us as teachers. And with this, what I want to communicate to you is you can be the I don't know you can be the support of this student. And it's very sad when I know it's sometimes we don't like to get involved with our students like because we have enough problems as teachers, and we don't want no more problems. But if you start to identify your student, start uh, spending time listening to your student, believe me or not, you'll have a better result with your classes, and your grades will go upper. Yes, so that's my experience. So I already okay. I would like for you to write an experience where you have helped, where you have listened to one of your students, and and we can share it with Abdel. I don't know Abdel if the presentation is fixed or not.
Okay, we will ask you to write an experience about how do you apply or how do you think you apply social emotional learning in your classes or with your students, or something you have used regarding emotions or your students positive. Tell us where you're from and your experience, and I'm gonna read them to Leo. He's trying to fix his PowerPoint presentation. Technology sometimes is not very reliable, so he's trying to fix that problem. So thank you for your understanding. So meantime, we are reading your experiences. Anonymous says, even when we have problems in our home, we want to help our students, but we are not able to help our students uh, in the school. That's um, that's one of the things they mention. Um, Another thing they are mentioned is with elementary and secondary schools. I think it's easier for them to communicate the feelings. But the case of preschool, they're still learning how to identify a feeling. So, how do you be able to communicate with the kids when they are learning how to speak and show the feelings? So probably we're gonna answer that question at the end of the presentation. But it's a very good question. Another comment we have in here is how can you help the student to help? How can we help the students when you know he or she is having problems at home? That's another very good question that is going to be analyzed on this talk. Correct. To explain a class about whatever topic for students with emotional problems is very difficult. Okay, correct. Um, the last comment, I think the presentation now is fixed. It is also a question, how does the emotional part of an individual affect their learning? We're going to answer that question later. Thank you for all your experiences. So, Leo's ready with the presentation. At the end, we will go back to the questions. And please, Leo, continue.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This problem, technical problem. Okay, so here I have another image where it says reflection question. So when we speak about emotions, okay, it's a lot about reflection. So I would like to ask you these questions. It says, if you could pick one quality or skill that all young people would possess by the time they graduate from school, what would it be? Okay, and my answer is to make students be able to get back when they fall. Because sometimes, okay, we can say, oh, to be happy, or to be rich, or to live in Europe, or I would like them to start a new business. But if we, I mean, I think the most important is when we give them the tool to get back when they fall. I think that's very important. Because if we do not teach our students that they're not perfect, that they're gonna fall, that they will live bad experiences, and that's reality. Is I mean we are just not telling them the truth, and we need to teach them to get back when they fall. And this is very important that we teach our students. Okay, yeah, I have problems again, so to be able to get back when they fall. So for me, it's a very powerful sentences. This one, that's what I try to do with my students to get back when they fall. So continue with questions. What do we want our children to be? Please write your comments. To be happy, to be rich, to be successful. What do we want our children to know? To know how to take decisions, to know math, to know a skill, to know how to, I don't know, to know how to open a business, to know how to pick the best partner, the couple. Okay, please write your comments.
We had some comments here, Leo. One, Nelson says empathy. So probably he wants the students to be empathic. Clotilde Figueroa says, I'm a teacher in primary school, and I think it's important to teach our kids about their emotions for the future. Anonymous says to be resilient, to be a good person, to be happy, to be able to face any situation, to be a person with empathy, self confidence. Magdalena says to be happy. Rigoberto says, if I could pick one quality or skill for young people, will possess by the time they graduate from high school, it will be commitment to work on something they love. And the last comment is to be successful and able to solve problems, to know how to help others.
Okay, so it's always positive. Positive is what we want to all children to be and to know. Okay, so um, I think these questions we need to we need to ask ourselves, because if we ask these questions to ourselves, we have a better or a clear objective in our classrooms and with our students. Okay? And for last, okay, what do we want our children to be able to do when they graduate? Okay, so if you can write your comments, please.
Okay, comments are getting through. Cristobal says they want their students to be themselves. Uh, Anonymous says we want our students to be confident and happy, to be respectful, to be engaged and motivated. Juan Alberto Acosta Salas, thank you for your comment. Mm, to be empathetic, to learn from others, to be honest, to try. Sara Riguera says to try, to be a person with values. Juan Alberto Acosta says to be engaged and motivated. And the last comment is Anonymous says, I think that we make our students feel safe in the classroom or in the school. We are helping them, maybe not with the origin of the problem, by let them know we are always by their side, make them feel loved.
Yeah, I think anonymous is very common to make them safe in the classroom. Okay, and what I understand by safe is we need to protect our students the to create the best environment so they can feel safe with us, with what we say, and also with their classmates. Okay, so I think it's very important to have a safe class where they can develop their skills and to achieve their academic goals. Okay, so if we proceed to the next one is, how is SEL defined? As you can see, maybe it says social and emotional learning provides the structure and process for adults and students to develop fundamental emotional and social competences and experiences too. So here one more time it says about competences. Uh, if you, I don't know if do you remember the competences that we spoke at the beginning? So please try to write the five competences that is in the core competences. There are five. You can try to remember and write them in the chat. Let's see if you remember. I don't know if we have comments up there or.
Not yet, I think they are writing so far. They're thinking the answer. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, if there are five competences of this SEL, if they can remember and write them on the chat. Okay, so the first one is self-awareness, and what are the other four?
Well, Anonymous says achieve goals, to be calm, competences, empathy, self-awareness, to be modest, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, show empathy, social kindness, self-management.
Okay. Yeah, there are five competences, and the first one is social awareness. Is when the person identifies his thoughts and his emotions. Yes. That's the first one. The second one is when the okay. The second when this is um, self management. So, what do I do with the thoughts that I have, the emotions that I have? Okay, that is social management. Okay, what do I do with this information? The next one is the social awareness. Is when I identify other people, I have more empathy with others, and I identify their emotions and their thoughts in specific situations. Okay, the next one, it's relationship skills. It's once I identify the emotions of other people, what do I do? Uh, what role do I play with that group or that classmates, friends, family, etc. And for last is the responsible decision. Okay, when the person makes responsible decisions in their lives. Okay, so that's something five. So it's understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, this activity says write five things that you can integrate into your class. Okay, so we talked about all this social emotional learning, but how can you adapt all this social emotional learning into your class? How can you take or what can you implement in your class in order to have the SEL? So please uh, share your ideas and tell me, and Adele will help us to read the chat.
Okay, the comments are getting through. It says, as teachers, we are responsible for the students' emotions. For them, we are a role model, and sometimes the only safe place or person they can go to know how to manage emotions. Accuracy is another comment we have. Coherence between to what they say and what they really do. Another comment we have is happy, emotionally stable, self-confident, self-sufficient. Probably it was about the competences. Another comment we have from Anna: make smart choices. Another comment we have from Nelson: fun warm-up activities. Um, feeling, accuracy, determined, enthusiastic. Uh, growth mindset is another comment we have. And the last one, to give some time to teach students to know about them.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, so I'm gonna give you. Okay, I'm gonna show you some things that you can integrate the SEL into your classroom. So it says start the day with checking. It's very simple, maybe with technical sentences, but the ones you mentioned, they're all related to these things you can integrate to your classroom. Okay, so let's start with the letter A. It says start the day with a check-in. Okay. These things like start the day with a check-in is like hello, how are you? Calling the students by their names. Okay. So when the student arrives every day to class, he feels motivated and he feels safe in the class. Okay? Letter B, whole class meetings. Okay? Whole class meetings is when you identify that there's a problem, there's an issue, and you need to stop the class, and maybe you're in the English class, and I mean you need to stop the class because you know that if you continue the class, nobody will pay you attention because they're in somewhere else. Okay, you stop the class and you discuss and try to solve the problem. Okay, in a democratic way where everybody takes opinion, everybody participates. It's another way to uh, bring the ESL into the classroom. Okay, the next one, C, work in partnerships. Okay. This is very important. Okay, working in partnerships um, makes more more secure the students. Sometimes if you tell them, okay, let's you're gonna work in two, and sometimes the topic. Sometimes we're not the best teacher. Sometimes we do not explain, or sometimes the student does not understand the way you explain. And sometimes a partner can be a better teacher than we are, and he can understand from student. So it's learn to learn. Okay, so that's partnerships, which I think are very, very important. Okay, I try to do a lot in my classroom. Okay, D, teach them how to work in a group. Okay. I remember that we spoke about uh, relationship skills. Okay. Is what role would you play in that project, in that uh, in that activity that the teacher left as assessment? Okay. And it's I think it's very important because sometimes some students don't feel confident to speak. Some students don't feel confident to write. So everybody plays a different role, and they feel belonging to a group. They feel more uh, confident working with groups. Letter A says play games. Okay, play games relaxes students. Play games uh, relieves the stress. Okay. Play games is fun, and when the people is having fun, students learn more. Okay. F. Set up a peace place. Um, I know it's not easy to set up peace place because sometimes we don't have a spacious room, but try to have a place where the student can take 5 minutes, do reflection, feel, think, stop, think, and act. Okay? Uh, I'm not saying that a peace place is okay like before, like the old days where you okay go to the corner and face the wall for 10 minutes. No, it's a peace place where students they need to stop because they don't feel it okay, and they need to just go there uh, the time they need to stop, think, and act. Okay? This place will help students to rethink everything and have a better, responsible decisions. Okay, letter G, practice lots of role play. Okay, practice lots of role play. Well, it's very similar to play games, but in the role plays, it, it's uh, it's an activity where you need to tell the students that he needs to be a good listener. Okay, and that's empathize. Okay, when you empathize with others, because sometimes we do not listen. We just want to speak, speak, speak. In the role plays, it's an activity where there's a moment to express, and it's a moment to listen to the others. Okay? So with this activity, will help empathy to make empathy to each and another of it, to each other person. Okay. Okay. So if we proceed with the next one, it says allow for talk time. It's when you have a class of, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, or when you see that the environment is there's a lot of anxious in the class. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, so the teacher won't stress. You will have the time to to express, to feel free, and then we'll go back to the topic. Okay, so just let them feel free. Obviously, with respect to the code. If you say 5 minutes or 10 minutes, okay, you cannot. Okay, you can have free talk, but okay, you cannot say bad words, and you cannot break the rules. Okay, in academic code institution. Okay. The next one is make space for reflecting on. I think I like to do this activity a lot with my students, and I mean, you as teacher will get a lot of feedback because they will express, and sometimes teenagers or kids. I think kids they express pretty well, but not teenagers. Okay, teenagers, it's hard for them to express themselves. So you will know much better your students if you start reading how they feel and what do they think. Okay. Okay. It's a great tool for us as teachers. Okay, the next one is encourage expressions through art. Okay, it's some people don't like to write. Okay, so if you combine with writing and drawing, expressing their because okay, art is what art is expression. So believe it or not, there are many students that they have a great skill in art, and they will express also their emotions and their thoughts, and you can know much more about your students. Okay? And for last, it's and each day will be changing. Okay, this is very important. I think this is very important. It's uh, a great feedback for us. And it's when you finish the class, okay? Um, so okay, let's stop 5, 10 minutes before the class. Okay, and I would like to know, okay, how did you feel today? What did you learn today? Did you have any issue? What can we do better tomorrow? And that's a lot of feedback for us, and they will know that their opinion is very important. So this is some of recommendations that you can include into your class to make an SEL better. Very good. Okay. Any comments? Okay. Do you like to write any comments? Or I don't know if Abdel, we have any comments?
Yeah, Leo, we have some through your presentation. Margarita says to know how to empathize, to respect, to be patient. Blanca Luni says an activity that you know they like, songs, games, or just being silly. Margarita says happy, curious, lovely. Andrea Mendez, how can I teach to identify emotions if I don't identify their emotions? So the most important thing is how can I help them to emotional control in time in crisis, for example? That is a question we can leave at the end. Um, Another comment we have is help kids to work on things like coping with feelings and setting goals. Anonymous says working with workshops, team presentations, problem solving situations, video conferences. We had different ideas of how of the 5 tips. Finally, Cristobal says it is important to teach them that we are human and it is okay to feel all the emotions. The importance is to identify them and to be able to control them.
Okay, okay, okay. Very good comments. Yeah, we'll answer that question at the end of that teacher. Okay, very good. So let's proceed to the next image. Okay. And here, okay, it's a video. Okay, it's a video. I'm going to show a video. I mean, you won't listen to anything. It's not necessary. It's only it's a video where you will see if you consider that this classroom, the teacher is implying the SEL, and how do you think she's implying this SEL into the class? Okay, and please write comments about the environment of this classroom, uh, and what can you do to create this environment in your classroom. Okay, so let's watch the video. Okay, so I would like to hear comments about uh, what social emotional learning do you find in this classroom?
We're waiting for the comments, Leo.
Okay.
Anonymous says he or she loved the video. Marcela says it was great. I saw it. I have used this video before to introduce a new topic. Let me see another comments about the video, because we have a lot of comments about everything. They say thank you, that they love the video. Marcela says kids are a mirror. Daniela says the teacher is aware of the students' needs and emotions. Social awareness, Salome. Cristobal says solidarity. Anonymous, social awareness, empathy. Social awareness, empathy. Most of the comments agree on empathy and social awareness. Sharing as well.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So yeah, what I identify as social awareness is when the group is aware of the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts, and they empathize with this kid. Okay, they for some reason they know that he didn't bring the breakfast, and they are being solidarity with him, and they're sharing their food with this kid, and they're helping this kid. So the teacher also has a lot to do with, I mean, with the attitude of these kids, obviously, okay? Because what I see in the videos of the teacher is obvious, questioning the students about, okay, what do you, uh, what's, how do you see this, your friend? How can you help this kid? What would you do for him? Can you put in his shoes? What would you do if you did not have food? What would you like your classmates to do for you? So when you make questions to your students about reflection and what what action would they take uh, over that situation is when we're taking the SEL into our classrooms. Okay, so I love this video too. I think it's very emotional. Yes. So let's proceed with the next image. So here we have nothing is better than a good network and community. Let's help each other. So it's what's happening nowadays with what we're living with coronavirus. I mean, we need to. It's not a commercial, but I think we need to take care of others and not not being selfish. Okay, I think we need to worry about others so we can empathize with others. Okay? It's not only for children. I think us as adults, we need to be the model of our children, of our students. Okay. Good. So here we have a formula, and this formula is quite bit about the video. It's improve climate and learning environment. Okay. So it's okay. This is something that a teacher has to do in your class. Okay, improve climate and learning environment. With what we talk about role plays, about working in pairs, about checking class, about making a safe, peace place. Yeah, so that's activities that we have to do in our classrooms in order to have the first step. Okay. If we have teach and model specific SEL skills, okay. So the SEL skills is a social emotional skills, okay. And as a result, we will have a positive result for children. Okay, so that's what we want us as teachers. That's our goal, and I think that's our best payment when we see our kids grow up, and then you see them being successful with their families, being successful in their jobs, and you feel part of them. Okay, I've been teaching for almost 15 years. And obviously, I've seen my students grow up. I've seen my students having their own business. I have seen my students having families, living happy. Not perfect, but I mean, you feel part of them, and it's great to see that. Okay. So this presentation says, what do we achieve with these competences? What do we achieve with these competences? Okay. Well, the competences is identify awareness. Okay. Identify your emotions, your thoughts. Okay. The second one is perspective taking. Okay. So you're free to make to receive the information you need. Okay, that's perspective taking. Not being manipulated by others, or don't be confused about your emotions. Okay, the third one is conflict resolution. Okay. So it's when you can resolve the conflicts, when you can solve the problems. Okay. When you can measure the consequences of your decisions. Okay. And by result, you will have a better family. I'm thinking of the way you have a relation with your family, with your friends, and the community. Okay, so uh, that's very important to mention because uh, our job, our objective is like if they go happy to their home, uh, it's healthy for the children, it's healthy for the family, for the friends and the community. Okay. And for us, it's social awareness. Okay. Social awareness is empathy, empathy for others, empathy for not only for uh, other people, it's also for your environment, where you live, your culture, your neighbors. Okay, so that's the competences that we want them to achieve. Okay? So that's some 5 competences. Okay, so let's proceed with the other one. Social emotional goals. Self. Okay, what do you receive? Okay, what's your goal? Your goal as identifying your emotions and your thoughts. It's develop self-awareness and self-management skills to achieve schools and life success. Other, okay. We speak about others. It's okay. It's your friends. It's your community. And the goal is use social awareness and interpersonal skills to establish and maintain positive relationships. And the last one is decision making. It's the decisions you make in life. It's demonstrate decision making skills and responsible behaviors in personal, school, community, and context. So this is our 3 goals. The first one is self. The second one is about others. And as a result, we can have better decisions. Okay? Better decisions when we relate to others. Okay? When we relate to our community, to our friends, and if we have better decisions, okay, we won't have so many issues as people normally have when they really take really bad decisions. Okay? Why? Because you can measure the consequences, okay? And when the person or when the student can measure consequences, they have better choice. And when you have a better choice, what you're obtaining is more mature in your decisions. Okay, so that's 3 goals. Okay, so we proceed. Okay, so in this activity, I will want from you is like write 3 things that you can help kids to develop their empathy or empathy for others. Okay, so what I mean here is like how can you, okay, what activities can you do in your classroom to, in order to your students have more empathy for others, as the video we watched, okay? What can you do? What activities can you implement? So, I'll give you some minutes, and Abdel will share the comments you write in the chat.
Okay, Leo, we have some comments. Anonymous says, we as teachers should be aware about our kids' needs just by observing their attitudes at all times, especially with the preschoolers who don't even realize about their own needs. Another person says, read stories. Patricio says, empathy. Another comment is role playing. Another person agrees on role playing, reading stories, playing together. Um, Setting goals is another comment. Praying for each other. It's another comment from Martha.
Okay.
Helping students to be better citizens is our mission. That's another comment from Blanca Diaz. And let's get the last final comment from another person. It's practicing with our students empathy every day. It's another of the comments.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, there's many things we can do to um, students have empathy for others. Okay, and and right now I know we're living in a very selfish world where uh, I mean it's you, but or I. Okay, um, but we need to teach our students to have empathy for others, and when you have empathy for others, you're gonna have a better relation, very healthy relations with. Okay, you will have more friends, and if you look beyond, I mean, sometimes with all the kids do not see toward, and they don't see that a good friend can help in the future. I mean, and you don't know if in the future he's gonna be a lawyer, and this lawyer will help you to I don't know to um, help you in any legal problem you can have in the future, or he can become a doctor and can save your life. You never know. So maintaining healthy relationships, I think, is very important. Uh, in order to have a better society, and also it's healthy for every person to have good relations. Okay? So empathy is very, very important, and it's something that kids don't have or adults don't have, but we need to care about others. You know? So let's proceed here. I think my screen got stuck again. Try to fix it. Okay, good. So I have here two questions. Sometimes we do more than we're supposed to do. We do things that they're not working in the classroom. Okay, so what things should a teacher do less nowadays? And what should teachers do more that we're not doing? Because sometimes we say, okay, I need to complete the whole text. I need to complete all the assessments. But I mean, is it really working? Is it really helping my students to achieve their academic goals? Okay, or what do I think I'm not doing that I should do? So please write your comments, and Abdel will share the comments for everybody.
Okay, we have a comment from Ale. She says, well, I don't know if it's a he or she, but Ale says less planning. That
Okay.
is one of the comments. Less planning. Teachers should give more opportunities to students to express themselves. Less testing the product, more testing the process. More social emotional learning. HS says less to prioritize knowledge to do more development integrated abilities. Be good to listen when the students are near from us. Maholi says I usually have them writing on a sticky notes on qualities they see in their partners. Then they stand up and stick the note on their classmates. They really like doing that, saying positive things about others and know what others think about them. Lluvia, teacher do need to talk less and let students talk more. And finally, Joanna Franco says teachers should do more participations.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Agree with some of them. Yeah. It's true. Okay. Uh, so we should do less lesson plan. Okay. Yeah. That's one thing that we all teachers vote for not doing. Okay. We have to do it. Okay. So focusing on the SEL, what should the teacher do less, and what should the teacher do more in the classroom in order to develop more the SEL in our students. So should last teacher lecture, student input, teacher intervention less or less intervention of the teacher, and student problem solving. So we need to let them solve their problems, okay? Inflexible discipline, natural consequences. So here's like we need to be inflexible discipline, and they need to live the consequences. They need to see that everything has a consequence instead of like stop, don't do it. Okay, if they did something that they do not supposed to do, well, at the end they will have a consequence in their grade, in their in something, and that's going to make him more reflective about repeating that same attitude. Okay, less competition and caring community. Okay? It's less competition because sometimes when you have students compete, uh, there's always an ego, like, okay, I'm better than you, and that I think that's not empathy with each other. They feel like they're less or more. So I think we should not do this a lot, like competition and caring community, and more with our students. Literal comprehension, less, and higher level discussions. Okay. Um, Higher level discussions is about learn to learn. Okay, we learn from you, we learn from you, learn from me, we learn from everybody. It's win to win. Okay, everybody is important. Everybody's opinion is it's important, and I think it's very. I think it's something we need to adopt in our classroom. And then city work less and cooperative learning. It's like more making teams per work and less like, okay, listen to me, sit down, you work by yourself, and don't talk to nobody. So it's all it's like how to manage these activities in order like to be organized and to have a goal. Okay? Always, I think we need to be very clear here with cooperative learning. Don't misunderstand that. Okay, everybody can do whatever they want. No, rules need to be set and to be respected. Okay? Parent school isolation, more sense of partnership. Benevolent dictatorship and student-centered democracy. More democracy. Okay? Everybody's okay. As you can see, it's focused on democracy. Everybody's important, and here's more isolation, more independent. Selfish and social relation skills. Rewards. Okay, you say, okay, but my kids love rewards. They love to receive the chocolate. They love to get an extra point. But it's competition. Okay, so it's what you're communicating to the students is some people are better than others. Okay? With the ESL, the objective is we're equal. We have different skills. We have different abilities, and everybody. Uh, it's unique. I mean, the learning is has to be in in group. Has to be. Uh, I mean, one piece is important and the other piece is important. So everybody's important. Self-assessment. More self-assessment. Okay. Right. I'm sorry. Good. So please write your comments. What do you think about? Okay. Do you agree or disagree with do less, do more, and what would you add and what would you take out? Do we have any comments?
Yes, they are getting through. One person says I'm a preschool teacher and I do a lot of group rewards, and they love it and motivate each other. Daniela says the thing about rewards is that you are teaching them to work for them, not because they want to learn. I have another a question. We are getting ahead to the last part of the presentation. We're gonna have questions, maybe 3 or 4 questions. But one of the question is, can you give some examples for preschoolers? Is one of the questions. So those are the comments are right now on.
Okay, the preschool. What question for preschool? What examples?
Exactly examples of what you just explained on that slide, how to apply with preschoolers.
Okay, what should a teacher do less and what should a teacher do more? Okay, well, as I told you, okay, I'm a high school teacher. I think I have never taught kindergarten, but I have been working with preschool teachers. So my experience with kids is by the information I have got with the kindergarten teachers, and what what I've listened of teachers is that I mean speaking about the SEL is teachers. I mean they love to do the role plays. They love to make a reflection with the kids. I mean, and so they can have mm, they can reflect about their attitude and like for example if one kid is being disruptive in the classroom and the teacher continuously telling the kid to stop, sit down, don't do that, uh, I'm going to take you to the principal's office. Okay, instead of doing that, okay, to question the student and like okay, uh, imagine if you were the teacher and you want to tell something to your classmates, to your students, and nobody lets you talk or express what you want to say. How would you feel? And how would you love that your students react when you're speaking? And reflection is something that that little kids like in kindergarten, I mean they have better reflection and better answers sometimes than teenagers or kids or I mean older kids. So kindergarten children can have better reflective and they can put in somebody's shoes than older kids. Okay. Okay. So let's continue with it. So let's proceed. Okay, and for last, okay, we have this image. And this image, can you describe this image? What emotions are happening here? What kind of class do you find? What is the attitude of the teacher or the students reacting? How are they reacting about this environment?
Okay, the comments we have so far are happiness is one of the comments. Um, well, that's the only one we have gotten so far. Let's wait for another one. We had several questions, so let's see if we had time. Magdalena says, regarding the picture, kids are the most interested students on participates. Nice atmosphere, Sara Galvan. Paulina, I'm pre-K teacher, so let's talk and give a more fun time. Fun time. They look excited. Nelson says, fun, interactive, enjoying the class. I think the teacher, uh, well, that's an issue to discipline. I'm sorry, I'm going to skip that right now. Alexandra says they are having fun, confidence. And the last one says, I think the teacher, it's creating a nice atmosphere and engagement to all students.
So I think this is a goal of every teacher, to work relaxed, to have students relax, and where you can expound and where you can teach your skill. Okay, so but if we want to obtain this class, okay, first I think we need to implement the SEL into ourselves and first identify how do you feel when you enter to the classroom. Uh, do you identify? I mean, do you identify the emotions and the thoughts of your students? Okay, and with that information, how can you interact with them? How can you empathize with your students? Yeah. And with that, um, what okay, what decision will you make responsible in order for your class to work the way you want and to obtain the goals that you need to obtain of your class. Okay, so first we need to start with ourselves. Okay, and I invite you to investigate more about SEL. It's very interesting, and I'm pretty sure that your classes will improve a lot. Okay, so I think we're gonna go with questions and answers. Okay.
Just a couple of questions. We have several questions, but as you said, they can investigate a little bit more. One of the questions says, how can we create a healthy environment at our homes outside the classroom?
Okay. So how can you create a nice environment? Uh, okay, did you say at home or in the
Exactly,
classroom?
outside school, at home.
Okay, outside the home. Okay, for your students. Okay. So when you teach your students, okay, like have okay, or develop the skill of um, social awareness. Okay, we speak about not only in the classroom. It's also a skill where the student will develop the skill of social awareness. So the kid will identify the emotion of the father, and he will identify, okay, my dad is okay. I think my dad is angry because he's reacting that way in that situation, and he doesn't. Okay, he hates when I leave all my toys um, in disorder. Okay, so in that okay, when the kid know identifies this situation makes his dad angry, there's going to be a consequence. So what you're teaching the kid is to identify emotions, thoughts in a specific situation, so he can have a better uh, responsibility to this situation. Okay, so it's related. It's not only in the classroom. It's making our students more conscious about the emotions, the thoughts, and what how will they react with all that information that they have.
Thank you, Leo. Sadly, it's time to leave. It's 2 o'clock here in Mexico, so it's time to finish our webinar. There are a lot of questions on the chat box, so Leo is gonna try to read them all. And we got your emails when you register, so we're gonna try to answer not everyone because I mean we have a lot of people. Well, maybe the most interesting that we had several comments about having issues with teenagers, and there is a very particular case over there in which it's having problems with a teenager. So Leo is gonna try to answer the most he can. And just to about to close this webinar, remember that there is a link and also is on the screen. You can see it. It's a link for a SRP, and this SRP is for us to be better every day. So please answer the SRP. It will help us to improve. Remember that is a workshop, UDP workshop. Social emotional learning is a topic. The presenter was Leonardo Guetta Guzman. You will need that information for the SRP. And you can you can click directly on the link on the chat box or take a picture of the screen, and then you can help us to complete this RP at another time. And well, finally, thank you again, Leo, for your presentation. It was very useful information we got today. And for the rest of you out there who are in the rest of the world in other countries, we really appreciate your time, your interest of being here. So please take care. We are a difficult there are difficult times out there, and that's why at the end you start commenting about being anxious and being concerned. Just be safe, take care, and together we're gonna solve all the problems we have right now. So thank you on behalf of Grupo SM. Thank you, Leo. And we will see you again in another webinar. Have a nice afternoon, everyone, and we see you soon.